for those of you who don't know, I just launched Unwoke Art, which is unwokeart.com. Now, Unwoke Art is something that I have been thinking about this for 2 years. And there was someone that is now a part of this horde of unhinged lunatics that I was working with in 2021, and we were going to start a business together. And we spent 6 months, 6 to 10 hours a day, every day, planning this business on Zoom. And then I told him no when he didn't want to be told no, and he had an unhinged breakdown, and he tried to destroy the business because he was told no when he didn't want to be told no. And so he was the person that I was going to go and do this thing called I call it Unwoke X, but the Unwoke Art thing was part of it. And what the business was supposed to be was creating experiences, real life pop up experiences, but also digital art and propaganda and things like that that illustrate the logical end result of what the woke left is doing. And so I had all these ideas and I was in love with this idea for this business. And because I love art, people who it's not an accident that I have art behind me. I have a lot of original art in my house. I love art. I love creating things. I'm a very creative person. I paint. I can't do like portraits or anything. I'm not like that good at drawing, but I can paint. You guys know I knit. I do all sorts of different art related things. So the whole point of the business idea that fell apart in 2021 was to create art that does commentary on what woke is doing to our culture. And so when he lost his fucking mind and tried to destroy the business, basically I was still clinging on to this idea because I have in my head I have all these images of how this should work. And I have all these things that I wanted to get out. And I was like, okay, well, he doesn't want to do it. I'm just going to go do it myself. And so I got all these like art supplies and I had like all these I had like these mock-ups done, and I was trying to work it out, like how can I still create these things and do this business, because he was going to be like actually create like he's a photographer, and he was going to be creating like the creative and be one of the driving creative person, even though we were coming up with the ideas together. But a lot of the ideas were mine, and then he was going to basically be executing them. And so when he destroyed the business, I was like, fuck him. I'm not allowing him to take this idea away from me. And so I just kept coming up with ideas and ideas and ideas. And I started coming up with plans to shift the business so that it would be something more attainable than I can do. But the reality was, I didn't have enough time to do everything. And so I had all these like half started art projects that were all around this idea of creating unwoke art that I just couldn't get off the ground. And it wasn't an issue of skill. It wasn't a lack of ideas. It was simply a lack of time. And so I kind of put it on the back burner. And I was like, there was other things that I had to do. And it was like, okay, I don't have a cohesive plan to be able to produce at the level I would need to be able to produce to make it sustainable right now. I have to put it on the back burner and I'm going to figure it out later. But I never stopped thinking about this. And I would just keep coming up with ideas and ideas and ideas and ideas and ideas because I'm a creative person. I brainstorm all the time. And I like had all these things in my head that I didn't know what to do with until I started playing around with AI art. And I started playing around with AI art when I created basically like I did what most people do. I created avatars of myself. And I have a whole bunch of like let me pull them up actually. Hang on, let me show you guys. And if you guys haven't done AI art avatars, like it's really cool. It's really cool. And this is actually relevant to what we're going to talk about. So I posted them on my Instagram. So you can see here are some of my AI art avatars that I made. Like, these are cool. I just love it. I look like my cousin there, like you would not believe. I love all the different interpretations of these. Like, it's neat seeing the different interpretations and what the AI, like, I look like Avatar there. Doesn't that look cool? And so, like, and I just did a whole bunch of these because I was just experimenting. I was like playing it with it. And So I've got all sorts of other stuff too. If like I use a program called Lensa, but there are so many AI programs. That's me in a video game, me as Santa. Like, look at this. It's just really neat. You can get like all sorts of cool things. I love that one. Like, isn't that interesting? You know? And some of them don't look like me, and that's fine. But I just love like what the AI did with this. Look at that. I love the colors of that. So anyway, I was just playing around with AI art, basically. And let me go back to that. And I didn't really think much of it. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then the other day, I got I got like a lifetime deal because sometimes software companies when they're just starting out, they will put lifetime deals on the internet where if you pay like $50 once, you get their tool for the lifetime of the tool being like a thing. And you get it really, really early. So they use it for development and all that stuff. And the tool might turn into something and it might not. So it's kind of like, it's hit or miss sometimes when you're doing lifetime deals, but sometimes you can get really cool stuff. And so the other day, I got a lifetime deal for an AI art tool. Just kind of like on a whim. It was just something that came into my inbox and it was like last chance to get this AI art tool. And I was like, okay, like let me check this out. And I looked into it. And I was like, it's like $50. All right. And so I got it and I started playing around with it. And I made this. I made this. And I said, let me do the porcupine version of dogs playing poker. And so I made porcupines playing poker because, as you guys know, I live in New Hampshire, and I am very involved with the libertarian community, the Free State Project community, and all that stuff. And the porcupine is the symbol of the Libertarian Party. And so Pork Fest is an event that I'm going to in June. It is the greatest festival in the history of festivals. I love Pork Fest. Pork does not stand for bacon. It stands for porcupine, PORCFEST. And so I was like, I was just playing around. I was like, let me make porcupine art because that's in New Hampshire. And I wasn't actually even gonna do anything with it. Well, Trendolin, you can get it on a shirt. You absolutely can. If you go to unwokeart.com, you can get this on a shirt right now. So I made this image and I put it on Twitter, and one of my community members immediately responded. And he said, Carlin, if you make that into a poster, I will buy it. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, I was just like, oh, this is like a cool thing that I did. And I was like, really? And then I was like, holy shit. I can do the unwoke art idea that I've had quite literally for 2 effing years. But I just haven't been able to do it because I have not had the time to be able to do it. I don't have enough hours in the day. And I was like, I can use AI art to execute on the Unwoke Art project. And I had this idea, like we're talking like 1 a.m. the other night. I may or may not have been high. I can't confirm or deny. But I was like, holy shit. I can use AI art to do the art project that I've had in my head for years to get all these images out of my head and into the world and actually be able to do something with it. And it will save me so much time. And I'm not suggesting that AI art is like easy because you really have to finagle it quite a bit. The AI art is not a perfect thing by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still much preferable to me painting everything and doing all that. It saves me a significant amount of time and the product can be really, really great. And so I just started playing around with it. And I was like, I'm just going to sell the AI art and this is going to be Unwoke Art. And so if you guys want to see what I've got up right now, I'm actually really proud of the stuff that I have up. So the first thing I put up is this was actually one of the first ideas that I had for like some sort of unwoke art concept. What it is a person meditating overlooking a city that's burning, and it says on the person, find your zen as the world burns. And the whole idea is like, even when the world is going insane, that doesn't mean you have to go insane. You can always find your Zen. And so I actually had created this AI art image probably like months and months and months and months and months ago. And I just never did anything with it because I didn't think of it. And so this was like the first one that I did, and so you can get that at at Unwoke Art on a you can get it as like a little photo that you can hang up. It's like a nice framed thing. You can get it on a journal, you can get it on a sticker. But then I decided I'm gonna do a whole Pork Fest line because again, Pork Fest is like it is my favorite thing of the year. And I thought, why don't I just do like a bunch of like porcupine inspired AI art images? And so the first one I did was again this porcupine's playing poker. So you can actually Trendlin said she wanted that on a t-shirt. You can get it on a t-shirt, Trendlin, and guess what? It's even got the Pork Fest 20 logo on it. So you can see right there. How cool is that? But then I did some other ones. I did psychedelic porcupine. Like, how cool is that? Come on. And I have so many great psychedelic ones like that I didn't release. This is the only one I decided to release. But how cool is that? And they all have the Pork Fest logo in them. And you can get this like on sweatshirts. And I did all sorts of cool like cool colors because this is the psychedelic one. So we can do some cool colors like gold, or like I put this one on white too, which I don't normally do. But this is and I did King Porcupine earlier today. King Porcupine is on a throne of quills, which I thought was really cool. But my favorite one is the Much Liberty Porcupine. It's literally a porcupine with a gun that has a liberty flame on top of it. I mean, come on. Come on. And to be really clear, for people who are saying this is not plagiarizing anyone. It's not plagiarizing anyone. I'm not using any models for the AI to do its thing. You literally just give it a prompt. The AI uses things that are in the public domain. It's all in the public domain. It is perfectly legal to sell this, and I love it. I fucking love it. It's so cool.